My thrift store illegally sold me this chest for $80. Lane cedar chests have been recalled twice for having over 14 fatal accidents due to the auto-locking latch. So my first step with this piece was to remove the lock. Then it was time to give it a good clean. Overall, the piece was in decent condition, so I decided to only refinish the top, sanding it with 120 grit. There were some chips to the veneer, so I used pre-colored epoxy putty to fill them in. Once they were dry, I sanded them down to be flush with the veneer. To seal the top, I applied 3 coats of wipe-on oil-based polyurethane, and I also applied a light layer to the rest of the piece just to revive it. My last step was to camouflage some of the blemishes with my veneer paint kit, and the transformation was complete. Now here's the before and here's the after. You're probably thinking, well, that looks the same, and yes, that's the point. My goal was to honor the original piece and fix it up so it can be loved for another 60 plus years. And if you didn't know, the serial number is the date of manufacturing backwards, meaning this piece was made on December 19th, 1961. I turned this $60 dresser into a mortgage payment. You see, this isn't just any dresser, it's a Broyhill Brasilia tall boy. It's like the first edition Charizard of the furniture world. A local college student sold it to me because it didn't go with her decor, but the only downside was that it was spray painted black and it was missing 2 of the original handles. I started off by stripping the black spray paint with a chemical stripper. It was totally tedious and I had to get it out of every nook and cranny. The veneer on the drawer fronts was super thin, so I hand sanded that with 220 grit. I sanded the rest of the piece down with 180 grit to remove any of the remaining varnish. I ordered 2 replacement handles off of eBay, which as you can see cost me a pretty penny. I followed the professional color schedule, which included Mohawk's medium brown wiping stain, followed by a few coats of easy vinyl sealer. Then a few coats of raw umber glaze. I sealed it all up with lots of coats of semi-gloss lacquer. Now here's where we started and here's where we ended up. This was my first mid-century modern restoration and it was totally my gateway piece. I ended up selling this piece for $1,400 and I regret it every day because I loved it so much. I had a very upset client. Her in-laws were making a short notice visit and she needed nightstands for her guest room ASAP. I luckily found these 2 nightstands at the thrift store that morning and immediately got started. I cleaned, patched up the veneer with Bondo, and taped off the edges. They weren't totally her style, so we agreed on adding green accents to tie them to the current design of her room. The difficult thing is finding the perfect shade of green, but then I thought to myself, what item can I draw inspiration from? And then I realized flight suit green is the sexiest and best green out there. So I used my color reader Easy to find the exact paint color match, which ended up being Andrian by Sherwin-Williams. I picked up the paint and boy, let me tell you, did that color match spot on. I applied 2 coats on top of the primer and it went on like a dream. I then polished up the wood areas with a nice furniture salve and it was ready to go. Now here's the before and here's the after. I think the green added the perfect touch to this outdated pair of nightstands. Now remind me to bring my color reader Easy the next time my personal fighter pilot brings me to work, because who wouldn't want to know the hex code of $1 million jet? I bought these nightstands at an estate sale for $50 and I was shocked to see an exact pair recently sold online for over $1,200. So it became my mission to restore them, and like a few people I've met in life, they look great from afar but had some real damage when I looked closer. To fix the damage, I used a lot of wood glue, clamps, and painter's tape, and while that dried, I used pre-colored epoxy putty to fill in the giant chunk missing. Once that cured, I sanded it down smooth. The most time-consuming part of this project was easily the hand sanding of the legs. I did use my orbital on both tiers of the tables using 120 grit and then 180 grit. To seal the tables, I applied many coats of satin lacquer. There was one little blemish that I covered up with my Blendall sticks, and I sealed that with lacquer as well. Now remember, here's the before and here's the after. You might think, well, they look the same. Yes, that is the point. They're ready for another 50 plus years of use, plus I did leave some contrast, which I personally love. I audibly gasped when my uncle sent me a picture of this slatted mid-century modern bench that he had, and I immediately knew what it was, so I offered to refinish it on my trip home. With limited supplies, I made it happen somehow, using my battery-operated orbital sander and 120 grit sandpaper, working my way up to 180 and 220. Thankfully, the finish came off so easily. I didn't touch the legs of this piece because they were in good condition, so I was praying that this leftover stain would be a good match, and miraculously it was. After the stain dried, I applied 3 coats of a wipe-on polyurethane, and I like to hand sand with a high grit sandpaper between coats. Then the transformation was finally complete. Now here's the before and here's the after. This dresser was about to be victimized by a sad beige paint job. The previous owner had primed it and was ready to paint, but I convinced her to sell it to me instead for $120. I started off by removing the primer with a chemical stripper and a painter's tool. I used mineral spirits and steel wool to remove any of the residue, and then I began sanding with 120 grit. For the chip veneer, I applied some epoxy putty, and once it was dry, I sanded it down smooth. Since this was walnut veneer, I decided to finish it with an oil-based polyurethane. After the first coat, I noticed it brought out some of the remaining white primer that must have gotten stuck in the grain, so instead of starting from square one, I decided to apply a raw umber glaze, which did help a lot. The glaze did darken the walnut veneer, so I used a veneer paint kit to color match my epoxy repair. Then what felt like deja vu, I was back to applying a few coats of polyurethane to finish the transition. transformation. Now here's the before and here's the after. I'm so glad I was able to intercept this dresser before it was painted. Now there's nothing wrong with painting, but this one just wasn't meant to be painted. Let's upgrade this mid-century modern dresser. I started off by using my carbide scraper to take off the top layer of varnish, which really helps cut back on sanding time. I then sanded the entire piece with 120, 150, and 220 grit. I also hand sanded all the little crevices. I used my favorite wipe-on polyurethane with a lint-free cloth. I applied 3 coats total and sanded with 220 grit in between. I love how Walnut looks with just a little bit of oil, so I didn't stain the piece, I just sealed it with this oil-based polyurethane. I took my favorite metallic gold spray paint and spray painted the legs. I then used my repair kit to conceal some areas of chipped veneer or damage. I used Mohawk toner to match this pine portion of the frame to the rest of the walnut veneer. And here's the final product. The handles are pine but were originally toned to match the walnut drawer fronts, but I love revealing the contrast. I thought I won the lottery, but it turns out I just got scammed. When I saw these Merton Gershon American of Martinsville nightstands listed for free, I thought I struck gold. I knew the blue paint would be a real pain to get off, but if it's free, it's for me. I got straight to stripping, and wow, was it a satisfying strip, no pun intended. Look how that paint was sliding right off. I actually thought to myself, this actually might not be so bad, but I immediately revoked that thought once I got to the fluted drawers. I stripped, I scraped, I scrubbed. Each drawer took me a week because not only were they fluted for a faux bamboo look, but they also had a bajillion decorative wormhole things on the fluting. I used a sharp tip screwdriver to remove the paint from each one. I felt like Dr. Pimple Popper. This part was fun and satisfying for like a total of 3 seconds. After a full month of removing the paint, I was finally able to sand and get started on repairing the veneer with epoxy putty. I attempted to remove some of the dark stains with several rounds of oxalic acid, but unfortunately I didn't have much success, but I still continued on. I sanded everything down with 120 grit, working my way up to 180. I couldn't believe it. I was finally getting to the end stages of this flip, or so I thought. I applied an oil-based conditioner, and then it was finally time for stain. I went with a walnut gel stain in hopes that it would cover some of the remaining dark marks, and as you can see, that was an immediate mistake. Now here's where we started, and here's where we are now. So I need your help on what to do next, because I've already spent 2 months working on these. I'd like to avoid paint, but that might be my only option. I've spent the last 2.5 months of my life working on these rare Merton Gershon nightstands that I got for free, only for them to turn out like this. They're giving pretzel rods. So most of you told me to paint them, but I just couldn't give up that easily. So to start fresh, I sanded everything down and wiped off any dust with mineral spirits. Because naturally, I decided to dig myself into an even bigger financial hole by going the veneer route. So I cut the veneer sheets to size and I peeled off the sticker backing and I secured it onto the nightstands with a brayer tool. I trimmed most of the excess off with electric scissors and then I refined it all with a utility knife. I'm actually really happy that I went with adhesive backed veneer versus having to apply contact cement. Even though it was a bit more expensive, it was just a lot easier. And I unfortunately did not have any walnut banded veneer on hand, so I had to create my own, but this part was actually the easiest. Then came the pretzel rod drawer fronts. I decided the only way to save them was with black paint. So my plan was to see how the wormholes looked after a few coats and then reevaluate the texture to see if I still needed to fill them in. My last step was to apply some oil polyurethane. Now remember, here's where we started, here's where I had my mental breakdown, and here's the final result. In total, I spent about $200 in supplies and an unknown ridiculous amount of hours working on these, and I'm still not sure if I even like the way that they turned out. Now I need your help with one last thing. How much do I list them for? Let me know in the comments.